me. Some of the strongest voices come from in between, from the shadows of the world, chasing impossible dreams. Yeah. 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 This for the people carrying weight they never show, trying to hold a family together while they breaking low. For the ones who built themselves with no applause, still standing tall after everything they lost. This ain't about attention or designer names.
Hey, welcome to We Have Range podcast. I'm Michelle Gresham, co-host and co-founder of We Have Range.
And I'm the yang to the yang. Shout out to the black and white I'm wearing today. Ivory Jordan, co-host and co-founder of We Have Range, a podcast that's going to teach you how to make money, how to be successful. It's going to talk about lifestyle. And you know what? Everyday people that we know, that you know, are sitting around their living rooms, in their offices, doing extraordinary things. And those people deserve space as well. So welcome to the space at We Have Range. We are excited to have you.
Thank you, Ivory. I'm excited to be here today. We have an amazing guest coming on today.
You do?
Jason Dailey. He's an actor, a singer. He's into wellness, athletics. And I'm just really interested to hear about the projects he's working on. We've got a little snippet and looked at some of his raw clips, but it's always interesting to get a peek behind the creatives.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard space.
It's a hard space. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We have a platform.
Yeah.
We're improving.
Yeah.
All the things.
So maybe we're doing a little bit of acting because that's what it requires in order to feed off your energy.
Yep. I call it prep.
You call it prep?
Yeah, which I don't like to do.
Do you have a ritual before we start the show?
Yeah, it's called like study my notes right before I pull up. And my show is about,
driving me crazy.
Reading notes for a couple weeks before we film a show. So we're very
I'm
different.
busy.
Yeah.
I don't have time and my brain works different than Ivory's. I do like a right before we get on to kind of look over things, but I like to do some research. I like to have some relevant information, facts that I can bring to her, I guess, based on what they're doing. So for me, I can't do the cram. I'm older than you, so my brain is like 2 seconds long. You know, I'm going through perimenopause. Listen, it's a whole nother, that's a show in itself. So I can't do that because I have learned that I perform better by prepping.
Yeah.
And I had to really get into a ritual of prep. It's kind of like, I don't know about you, but you remember growing up and my parents used to make us iron our clothes for the week. Torture. Another reason why I hate ironing. But they would make you, we would have to iron our clothes for the week. And it teaches you discipline and preparing, like, so you're not rushing the next morning. Inevitably, if I do not lay out my things the night before, put the lunch in the place, prep the coffee pot, because I use French press, when I'm running in from the gym, I'm rushing and it just throws me off.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to manage you, like, we got time, we got to go. We're like, it gives me anxiety.
First of all, I'm a diamond. And diamonds are made under pressure.
And that's not the most precious gem, by the way. I'm a ruby.
I'm good. I like a good pressure, high pressure situation. I think if you can perform under pressure.
Can I challenge you on that though?
Yeah.
I think if you just prepped one time to compare the difference.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I used to be like that too. And what I realize is, and I'm not saying that you're not performing at the high level. Clearly you are.
Yeah.
You are multi-million-dollar, you have a multi-million-dollar insurance book. You're doing the thing. You're doing all the things.
Yep.
But once I started prepping a little more.
Yeah.
I leapfrog.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I can't do it. I just find that I'm not at my best when I'm just kind of rushing and running around, got a lot of things in my head.
You said it best. People are different and they show up differently and our brains work differently. So I think it's worked for me. I didn't climb into being an entrepreneur, doing it with 4 kids, being a wife, having multiple businesses.
I love that you're saying this, though. You know why I love you saying this?
I've been on 4 planes in 4 cities in 4 days.
I will tell you, I said the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I said the same exact thing. And I had another coach. And I was like, I got all these things in my head. I always feel like I'm rushed, and I'm frazzled.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're not doing it well.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, well, let me say about me. Once I took advice at another way of looking at something, it released me from being so anxious. So now I'm performing at the next level.
Yeah.
So while I was performing high, sometimes when you do tweaks, you know how you do little tweaks of a technique or you learn something new, it's adding to your chest.
Yeah.
You perform just that leapfrog, because when you first started, you had a different process.
Yeah.
Then you added something else, you had another process. You know, so each time you learn something, you learn
matters what your value
I'm not challenging you.
system is.
I'm not challenging you on
no,
your
I just
process.
think it's what your value system is, because I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I have a career, and now we have a platform. And so it's never because I don't feel like prepping, or that just sometimes that's not how the sausage gets to be made.
Or that's sometimes the time you don't have
That's sometimes
to do it.
the time I
So
don't
say
have.
that though. Don't make it to our audience though, right?
Yeah, but I think that's real. I think that's
think so.
authentic.
Thank you
To
for being
think that
authentic.
people all of a sudden who have full-time careers, I have a very big job, a very big
As do
sales
I.
job, and to be an entrepreneur and an entrepreneur, this idea that when we show up and, we're ready, we're filming a show, and somehow I have just had several weeks and several hours of extra time created from thin air to show up and do the thing. I think that's not real. And I don't think that gives women and moms and people and parents a true representation of what it means to feel like you're ready to do a thing. Because you know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it scared. I didn't have time before we launched this, but it is now in my lineup of things that I focus on. And so the prep is not always there. I definitely prepped more for the sessions and the episodes that we've shot this weekend, and I do not regret it at all.
But let me be
clear. If you can't get it in sometimes, it ain't gonna happen.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that I do this all the time.
Yeah.
I find that when I do, I'm less anxious because I don't like feeling frazzled.
Yeah. You know what's helped me? Because we're going to hear from somebody who's acting.
And hear about his rituals.
And hear about his rituals. So the use of artificial intelligence, that has helped me.
Was that what you was just doing?
So right now, sometimes you got to get a quick summary. You ain't got nothing but 2 seconds. And so that's been helpful. And, listen, not everyone loves AI.
You trust the summary.
Do I trust the summary? I've always been a trust but verify. Please don't think you're going to turn in a dissertation created by AI and call that a degree, because you ain't going to pass.
You are not a doctor.
You are not a doctor after
asking AI for a dissertation.
Oh, for sure. Facts. But speaking of AI, Michelle, how do you feel about it being introduced into acting and into video and now into commercials? Do you have a reaction into, we're doing something here very question. Authentic and very raw, but what is your true reaction to now knowing some of the content? We can't get into our own comments without wondering, is this AI?
Yeah, I think I feel, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because we all want to know that I may run into that actor at my local coffee station or in the airport. So if we create a fictitious character, there's no opportunity to ever have a chance connection.
Yeah.
So I don't love it for that reason. I mean, if they want to create scripts or ideas or expand it, I think that's fine. But not being able to know that Denzel may drive down the street, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think AI definitely has its downsides. And, people are saying they're taking jobs. And I think there's lots of movie actors and things like that who want to make sure we're really careful with this usage. But I think with any new technology, there's going to need to be some guardrails and some guidelines. I like to say, calculators and spreadsheets didn't replace accountants. I don't have no AI filing my taxes.
It made them more efficient. But creating a character, I don't know if that makes it more efficient or make it cheaper to make movies.
Right.
Because you don't have to pay the big budget actors. But I think for me, like when I know Denzel is in something, or who else? Whatever your favorite actor or actress
Michael
is.
B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Did great in Center.
Yeah.
He was a stunt. He duplicated himself. So first of all, shout out to Michael B. Jordan for playing
Shout
two
out
people.
To Michael B. Jordan.
You deserved all the awards, all the accolades, whether granted or not. Okay.
Wait, who's your crush in Hollywood?
Who's my Hollywood crush? Ooh,
Yeah.
this is juicy. I don't, husband, plug your ears. No, I don't know. I don't really have one. You know,
I mean, you said Michael B. Jordan's name like 10 times.
he's a great actor, and I think you playing a twin is
But when
next
you
level.
see him,
Yeah.
you don't be like, oh, hey, Michael B. Jordan.
No, I think so. Listen, maybe it's my cynicism around celebrities. I love celebrities, so shout out to all of them. But I like to say I'm the most unfamous, famous person I know, which is why this platform was born. And so I just think there's a lot of other cool people. I don't get starstruck.
It's not about being. We're talking about
I'm just saying,
who's another crush or a woman that you think is fabulous, like a Halle Berry or
yeah, you know,
nobody.
I think people like to give the PC answer. I just enjoy really good content. I love when someone performs at a high level. You've mentioned Denzel a few times. I think because he gets a lot of time in airspace and his highlights and his promo. Make no mistake, there are incredible actors with
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis is amazing. She's amazing. So I think there's just a lot of talent out there. And we should, you know, my show, you're making me think about the question. We should start to feature actors on our platform that do not necessarily have that level of A-lister.
Who's not a Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Because let's face it, before you and I were ever running and succeeding like A-listers in corporate or in business, we were doing A-list work. But was nobody coming and knocking on now we work in all kind of spaces, but no one was knocking on my cubicle talking about, hey, A-lister, you doing great. But was I a kick-ass executive?
Well, we got somebody today who is starting out.
Yeah.
And he's on our platform.
Right.
And today we will be talking to Jason Dailey.
Right.
So I think that's the first. But I love the thought of going to find those independents and bringing them to the show to give them a platform.
You know what I do want AI to do that I would not be mad at all?
What?
Pay my bills. So if it can pay my bills, I will be.
You can ask them, how do I get all my bills paid without actually paying them?
Let's
see what they say.
You come up with that concept.
Wait, that's a good prompt.
I'm all in.
How do I pay my bills without actually paying my bills?
Right.
You should put that prompt.
Right. It's actually a term that I don't want to get involved. Kiting.
Okay. So with that, let's get into our guests. We got to get into our guests. We got an exciting show today. Jason Dailey, welcome. He is an R&B artist, actor, entrepreneur, founder of Flow State Athletics, personal wellness consultant, content creator, advocate for discipline, mindset, and transformation. Welcome to our show, our Range Maverick for today, Jason Dailey.
Welcome.
Woo.
Thank you.
Very excited to have you here.
Yes.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you.
I mean, we started with R&B singer. Do you want to sing now or do you want to do it later? We got to get it out the way.
We got to get it out the way. That's what always I go to. You saying, honey, let the people hear who we talking to.
Sure, I can sing now. Sure.
Okay, cool. All right. Because I think you knew we might ask that. One of your talents.
Yeah, I was prepared for that.
Okay. So let us hear something. Something sweet and
Oh,
gentle.
you heard what they say. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Ain't that a shame? I've been good for some time. I'd be lying if I said that you ain't on my mind. Been trying to give it some time. So,
I love that. I love that. I don't know why, but it started feeling very Medea movie. You know, not the crazy
you
part.
You and Medea? What is up with you and Medea?
Part, but you know the scenes. They go to the serious scenes where someone gets to singing and they're soulful and it really means something. Yeah. So it's on the positive play parts, Jason. So I love it.
It brought me to my times when I'm in the shower because I also close my eyes when I sing in the shower. What is that with singers when they close their eyes? Is that a technique?
I don't know. It's me. I'm one with the song. You know what I mean? So I just,
I love that. I felt all of the energy too.
Oh, Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
That was my goal. So I'm glad.
So, out of all the things that I just named, R&B artist, you're entrepreneur, you are finder of flow state athletics. Where do you come alive? And all the things that you got listed and you're doing. If I had to
Oh,
name one thing for Jason, where do you come alive?
the music, 100%. R&B music is like that's my thing.
Yeah.
It's I started singing. I grew up in church, so around that background, I had the whole singing background with the choir, stuff like that, praise the worship team,
Okay.
all that stuff. And then as I gotten older, it just grew into a passion of mine, to be honest.
I
Okay.
love
Yeah.
it. I love it. But also, you're into acting, Jason, and I
Yes.
actually think acting is a lot more difficult than singing. It is a true technique and talent.
Have
So
you acted before?
we acting right now. We on set and we on the show.
No, we're being authentic, but
we're
this
being
is a
authentic.
professional.
But no, I have not. However, I have a child actress daughter and a husband that acts. So I've seen the how challenging it is to do. I was gonna put you on the spot and say do a monologue. Okay. So so those are this hard. So that's what I'm saying. Shout out to all the actors out there.
Yeah.
But Jason, tell us a little bit about the parlay. How did you get into acting? It seems like singing was a natural progression as you got raised in the church, but tell us about acting.
Well, I think the first experience I had in acting was in high school. I did a musical called Hairspray, my junior year of high school, and that was the first time I had a real chance to act, a real chance to showcase my talents, and I really enjoyed it. So I talked to my mother. Long story short, I ended up going to an acting school called Barbizon in New York City.
Yep.
I would go to my senior year of high school, so I would finish my classes and then I would jump on the train to go to Manhattan to do my classes. It was every Wednesday and Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I did that. I graduated, and then they sent me to California to do a showcase, which was a really cool experience. That was my first time there. This was back in 2014.
Okay.
So I did that, and then everything just, started from there. My mother was like my manager for a very long time, so she overseed everything. She sent me on auditions. We did this and that. She would come with me to showcases and all that stuff. So big shout out to my mom for real, for managing my.
Shout out to the parents out there making it work because it is challenging. You have to balance it. It's expensive. I know a lot of Hollywood actors have to have day jobs, or not just Hollywood. There's acting in lots of communities, but acting is one of those things that until you make it, you got to pay the bills. So, Jason, can you tell us a little bit about? I know you're working on projects and things, but for people who think that all of a sudden you get a gig and now you can, quit working, tell us what that looks like.
Yeah, no, so that's unless you Denzel, you know what I mean. It don't work like that. So like for me, for example, I'm a server. I work at a restaurant. I serve and I bartend, because that's what pays the bills right now.
Right.
I mean, I just moved to California about 3 months ago, and as soon as I got here, I was booked and busy. I was doing shows. I did a movie, and everything was great. And then like everything stopped, and I was like, all right, well, I need to make some money. So I went ahead and I got me a serving job. There's like temp agencies like InstaWork and stuff like that where you can, pick up shifts at different locations, different restaurants or different event spaces and stuff like that. I mean, every day is a grind, every day is a hustle, you know what I mean? So, and where I'm from, that's all I know is hustling. So, I got to do what I got to do.
So you talk about having all these projects, and I know that you are in I Am Bone, and you have another project that may or may not be out yet. Talk about your current movies and series and things that you're acting in now so we can go find you.
Okay, cool. So the first project, I Am Bone, is coming out June 8th. It'll be on Tubi, Roku, Amazon. We're really excited about that. That movie is basically about a guy named Sean Martin. And it's a very serious movie. It was him growing up. He was playing basketball, and he would play. They had like a police program where they would play like around, where the police were. And long story short, unfortunately, he was touched inappropriately by the very people that were there to protect him. So he went ahead and looked for other areas to find protection and stuff like that. So he joined the gang life, and he went through a lot of things like that. And the movie's just about his life, and how he was able to overcome that. The movie basically is about redemption, really, to be honest. You can go through the things that you go through in your life, but there's always a way out. And I'm playing a young detective trying to lock him up. So it's really fun. I enjoyed that.
I love that. And I'm not familiar with Sean's story, but certainly whenever that comes out, and we're happy to, mention the story as we publish this episode. So glad to share that. Glad you're sharing that project. And then, Jason, you've done a lot of things, but tell us a little bit. What is a moment that sort of sticks out for you? It seems like, and I talk about this a lot on the road to being successful and realizing your dreams. It seems like there's just a series of different things that kind of be like, okay, I think I'm the little engine that could. Is there a moment in time in your life that stands out that just helped to inform you that you were on the right track? Because for the people who don't know, getting a booking in a movie is a big deal, or getting acting gigs is a big deal. So, and also your singing passion. There's a lot of incredible things that you're doing, but what moment stands out for you in terms of I'm really doing the thing?
To tell you the truth, it was actually a month ago, or a month and some change ago, when we had the premiere for Iron Bone. That was my very first premiere, and it was kind of full circle for me, because I was taking pictures, right, at the whole event, and I'm there, and I'm like, man, like 6 months ago, I was in a completely different headspace. You know what I mean? I was battling depression. I was not in a good spot. And I'm here. I'm in California. When I was younger, I would always tell my parents, one day I want to move to California. I used to always speak that. And clearly I spoke it into existence, and it's just that the premiere was just, I had to pinch myself, because I was, and then see myself on the screen, see myself on the credits. I just was like, you put in your head, like, you're gonna get there, but like, there's still like a feeling where it's like, I don't know if this is really gonna work out. Like, I can't believe that I'm here, and then it happened, and I'm like, it was like so surreal, So I would say that was like a big thing for me, 100%.
That sounds really interesting, but I can't skip over the part where you talked about your mental health. What changed along your journey that you started to focus on your mental health? Because I think as we talk more about that, we normalize that people should take care of their mental as much as they take care of their physical. So give us a little bit about that journey, and when did you discover that you were having some issues with that?
Well, I think as a man, we're always taught to, be tough and figure it out, and that was the mentality I had for a very long time. And I had a bad isolation problem. I would go through things and I wouldn't tell nobody. I would just try to figure them out by myself. But, as you continue your journey in life, you realize that, you need people around you. You need to accept, the love that you're given. You need to accept that support, and I just really, to be honest, I just started to lean on the people that were always been there for me, whether it was my close friends or my family, my parents. I can't thank God enough for my parents. I would choose my parents to be my parents in every single lifetime, and
Love that.
I just started leaning on that, and honestly, but the main thing that I should have started with is my prayer life. You know what I'm saying? My relationship with God.
Yeah.
In addition to did you go to therapy at all?
You know what? I did go to therapy. I went at first, maybe not now these days, but when I was a little younger, when you hear, "Oh, I'm going to the therapist," usually when I was younger, I would think that like, "Oh, something's wrong with that person." You know what I mean? But therapy is actually really normal, and I encourage everyone to go to therapy. Like, don't let your pride get in the way of going to therapy.
Everybody should be in therapy.
There's a lot of people that need to be in therapy, and if you don't think you don't need to go to therapy, chances are there's something wrong with you. So reach out to the local therapist, or there's lots of options these days. But what I like to say, my Aunt Cheryl says, everybody needs a checkup from the neck up. We too busy worrying about the exterior, all the photos, the good IG shots and the TikToks and all the things. Get your neck, from here up, get that checked out.
You know something that I heard Jason say, and I feel like it's been a central theme, is community.
Yeah.
You talked about your community helping you. And when you isolated, they didn't have an opportunity to support you. So talk about moving. You've moved to now being in LA. What type of community have you found there to continue the support?
I think the biggest thing for me right now is just finding my space. So, as an R&B artist, I go to a lot of events, whether if it's open mics or if it's little concerts here or there, and that's where I've started to make some friends. I'm still working on making some friends. I'm still brand new here,
Yeah.
but that would be the biggest thing, and then also run clubs. I'm also into, I'm, very, take my fitness journey very serious. So, run club is something else that I did. And then there's this place called the Culver City Stairs
Yeah,
over here in
yeah.
I'm
Culver City.
familiar. My sister lives in LA.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
runs the stairs
So,
at 5 a.m. every morning.
I didn't think it was that serious. I saw
Oh,
it, I
it's
was like, that's
serious.
nothing until you get on the stairs.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
got to the top step and I couldn't walk for like 20 minutes. Yeah, no, ain't no joke. So,
Right. And what is a
ain't
run
no joke.
club?
Yeah.
Tell me what's a run club?
A run club is just a group of individuals that, whether they're on different life journeys. You don't have to be a professional. It's not about, it's not a competition. It's not about, being advanced or whatever. A lot of people just get together because some people just don't like working out alone. What I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just need that motivation or that push, sometimes, I just want to run with a friend or whatever the case may be. So it's a group of individuals that have the same goal, to finish what they started. And yeah.
And how does one join a run club?
Oh, you can, Instagram, TikTok. That's what I do.
All the
That's
social
social
media
media. And
platforms.
I just,
You can
Yeah.
find everything you
yeah,
need
social
on social
media.
media.
Right. And
Yeah,
speaking of social media,
100%.
Jason, you have a very nice following. How has that investment been in social media, and is it helpful at all to your various career paths
Give us
and
some
your passions?
advice
Yeah.
about creating content.
Yes, because your content is good.
Oh, thank you so much. So I've had that same Instagram account since Instagram first came out. Was it 2010, 2011, something like that? And the way I built my following, I'm a singer, so I just posted a lot of videos, and consistency is like your best friend. Like consistency, whatever field that you do, whether if it's, music or comedy or whatever, consistency. That's like my biggest thing with content creating. Like, not every video is gonna smack 1,000 views. Not every video is gonna
Right.
smack 10,000 views. You have to go in knowing that. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And sometimes it's the videos that like you kind of put up and you're kind of like whatever about it. That video is probably the one that might blow up. You know what I mean? So you have to have the mentality that you know, I'm due, and it's gonna blow up. You know what I mean?
But what
And
I'm
yeah,
hearing is
so that's what I would say.
consistency.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yes.
underestimate. They think these paths and these roads and even building a platform happens overnight. I mean, it can, depending on how, you being the one-off, the less than 1%, or all of a sudden you're on a viral moment. But not every video is going to be viral. How do you stay intentional about your social media presence when you have all these different endeavors, acting, movies, singing? How do you make sure to stay consistent with your content?
I mean, I'm not gonna get to where I want to get to if I don't stay consistent, and that's just the plain simple truth. You know what I mean? If I tell myself all the time, you know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna put the work in for you. There's a saying: everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to put the work in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And part of that is
Yeah. Discipline again.
I'm hearing discipline.
discipline.
And everybody wants to
discipline
be
and staying
skinny, but they
consistent.
don't want to join no run clubs. So
True.
it sounds like,
Well, when are you joining?
no, it sounds like that's where it's at. Personally, the nightclub and the dance club sounds way more fun, but
In the run club?
than the run club.
Right. You could do both. You can do
can
both.
do
Just
both.
moderation. That's all.
You burn
can do
calories
both.
dancing, do you not? Is that not a fair space to get your athleticism in?
Yes.
So we're talking about athletics. Tell us a little bit more about Flow State and what you're doing there.
So I'm currently working on a brand called Flow State Athletics. I have two slogans: immerse yourself in your own potential, and to embrace adversity. My goal is to just inspire people to become the best version of themselves. You know what I mean? And to keep going past, you want to, past 100%, because we're supposed to be constantly evolving and constantly looking to get better. I want to be better than I was yesterday. You know what I mean? And that's in all aspects of life, whether if it's in the gym, whether if it's work, whether if it's, eating right, taking care of your body. You know, in all aspects of life, we should be trying to put in maximum effort to, you know, achieve whatever our idea of greatness is.
How do you align that across all the things that you're doing? So you're doing the acting, you're doing the singing, you're doing the fitness and wellness. What's the alignment there?
Discipline and consistency, and putting God first always. You
True.
know,
Love
the
that.
Bible says, seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added upon to you. So whatever it is that you want to do, you put Him first, and He'll multiply for you. So that's how I look at it.
How do you do it on the days where you just don't feel like it?
I just
Do
do
it
them like
anyway.
that. It don't matter. You know, the difference between discipline and motivation. Motivation is, you know, lasts maybe a day or two or three. Discipline is doing it even if you don't feel like doing it.
Yep.
You know, the job still has to get done, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So
And do
I'd
you
rather be disciplined than motivated.
right? And a lot of people like, especially I think our young people think you can work a few hours or maybe 8 hours. What does the work really look like? Trying to achieve your dreams. What kind of hours do you put in to hone your craft? Is this a 9 to 5 situation?
Say sometimes you have a 5 to 9 before your 9 to 5, and then a 5 to 9 after that. You know what I mean? So it just it's nonstop. I mean, of course, you know, rest is important, and also I do encourage people. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, like I lock in and I have goals and stuff like that, but I do make it a habit to enjoy myself, whether it's taking myself to the movies or doing something, because you know it is okay to take that mental break, you know, because sometimes we tend to push ourselves a little too much, sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. So
Right.
yeah, I mean that's my approach.
So if I'm a young person and I want to get into acting, what have you done for this practice of learning how to be an actor? So do you take acting class, articulation? Like, what are some of the trainings that you had to do in order to get in, but also stay in? Because you got to elevate that skill.
Right. So acting school for sure. Acting school is very expensive though. So if anything, the alternate route would be YouTube. I mean, you can learn anything on YouTube. You know what I mean?
YouTube
I would go on the
University.
internet. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's why we
Yes.
had a We
I
Have
would.
Range platform. Give us the nuggets.
Right.
As
Right.
an
So I would.
actor,
YouTube. I'm sorry.
you're just saying YouTube is one way area. What are some other
Yeah.
areas because it's expensive to really sharpen your acting skill set?
YouTube. I would look into like your local theaters, anything like that. To see if they, you know, a lot of theaters they do like improv classes, or they'll do like free, you know, I remember I used to go back in New York. I can't remember the name of it, but there was one free class that I would go to during the week that a friend introduced me to, and it was an improv class and stuff like that for beginners and everything like that. So I would just look around your area to see, you know, what's going on. The theater is probably your best way to start.
Yeah.
YouTube, the theater, and yeah, that's what I would do.
Can I share a
I have
story?
a question.
Let me share a story really quickly
Okay, I'll
about
let you.
improv.
Yeah.
So I took improv class at this studio. Well, it was a theater in Oakland. I took improv 1 and
Mhm.
2, but not for acting. And the one thing I learned from our theater teacher is that improv isn't meant to be funny. And most people think improv is being funny. It's more of how do you support the other person that you're working with. So that's where the phrase yes and comes from. Right? Am I right, Jason?
Yes,
It's a
yes,
whole
yes.
thing. It's a
The
whole
point of
framework.
yeah, you're working together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the point is to bounce off of each other, you know? And yeah, so like yeah, exactly what you said, 100%.
It is, and so then it gives you the basis of how when you're acting together, how you're supporting the other person to bring their best self out. So we're kind of doing that a bit now. Like if I say something, I wouldn't ask you something for a yes or no. I ask you the question so that you can give more, and then I can support you doing more.
It is
going forward.
improv. Like you
Yeah.
inserting that
It's improv.
question just now was improv. So we know
I think all of our questions are improv though.
we
So.
know where she's getting it from. But my
Right,
follow-up
right.
question was for you talking about sharpening your acting skills. That seems like something you can work on and get really good at. What about people who want to sing? Does that translate? Because if you ain't got the natural born talent, can you just sing your way in the shower into stardom? Help us
So-
understand.
I feel there was a little shade when she talked about the shower right there.
So I'm a firm believer. Look, some people are born. You can sing. You can sing. I don't think you can be taught how to sing. I think you can be taught to like maybe hold a tone or maybe identify certain like octaves. But like if you don't got it,
That's
I
when you
don't.
stay
You
in
know
the
what I mean?
church
Like
choir,
me
right?
personally,
Uh-uh.
yeah, like you know what I mean.
I know some
If
number
you don't
one
got it, you
hits
don't got it. Like
from people who can't hold a
I don't
note.
know.
so, so,
I mean,
Yeah,
they maybe have something else.
like,
so I'm just saying,
yeah, like yeah, maybe
maybe it's something
maybe
else.
maybe we could try. You could try you on the tambourine or something. Try you on a
Right.
different. Maybe on an
Are you
instrument or something like
inspiring
that.
singer?
Instruments are different.
Oh no,
You know what
child!
I'm
I've
saying? Like, you can learn.
accepted.
I feel like you can learn how to play an instrument. You know what I mean?
I played the
But I think
clarinet for
singing is
13
just different.
years.
Okay,
Yeah.
I played the trombone in high school, so
Okay.
a little song.
No, and I think sometimes when we are thinking about our talents, I've accepted that I can maybe put the same color hair in as Beyonce, but my voice notes ain't gonna match her. So I think it's about accepting and leaning into what are the things that you are
Yeah.
naturally good at, and then what are the areas where you can will your way and practice into it.
But that's when you
Well,
should be honest
self-awareness is
with your
great.
friends, though. Do you tell your friends when they can't sing, Jason? See, this is a problem with the world.
This is a problem
we don't
with the
tell
world.
people the truth.
And we don't give them feedback.
This is not okay, Jason. Today,
Yeah.
let's make a pact. You
No,
cannot keep
no.
lying to your friends.
But usually I'll be like, yeah, bro, maybe this isn't for you, but that's okay. You can try find something else. That's all.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Or auto tune. I think. Wait, hold on. Now they got AI. There's all kind of things that can make it better.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
find you a voice.
You can find you a voice
Yeah.
on a good old chat system. But I would say
Yeah.
what the world I think still cries out for is authenticity, and
Absolutely.
and hearing your voice even authentically and a cappella. I know that's something that a lot of people can't do. So I was just trying to understand: can you practice your way into singing? And in terms of projects, Jason, I know you are really talented in a lot of things. How are you planning a movie premiere? Are you going to be on a Hollywood carpet? For people who are not familiar how movies roll out, what does that run up look like?
Oh, it takes time, like you can record, we can shoot your scenes and stuff like that, and then post-production takes a long time. So sometimes you won't get anything till 3 6 months till after that, you know and as far as movie premieres, I have nothing yet, but coming soon. I'm speaking into existence. I have another TV show that I did called Operation Get Money that is coming out within the next couple of months, on
Operation Get
Tubi.
Money.
Is that the one we have a clip of?
Operation-
Are we
no,
teaching?
that is called Your Turn.
Okay.
Your Turn,
That is
okay.
a project.
Let's check
Yeah, so
out a
that's
little
called-
clip. I was going to have you do monologue, but I'm saving you. I know that's hard, but I'm sure you would do great. But we have a clip instead. Let's go to the
let's see
clip
it.
to check out the movie.
Hey, man, they had us break wood with bare hands, dude. The other guys in the class, they had a tough time, but me, no sweat, right? Ask how many boards I broke. 10 boards. And I didn't even try. But see, the next morning, I woke up and my hand was all like swollen and purple and shit. So I had to go to the ER. But I couldn't go to the ER because I couldn't get my keys, dude. See, I fell asleep with my clothes on because I passed out because I was so tired trying to get to my keys. The problem was the keys were in my right pocket and my right hand was all purple and fucked up and shit. But I was pretty much the strongest guy in that class. They wouldn't even let me fight the other students. They made me fight the professors, because I'm all big bad and stuff. But no. Motherfucker, get the hell out of here. Nobody wants your garden weasel or where the fuck it is. Anyway, go see Sully. He fucking loves that I shit. didn't want to Get hurt out. anybody. I Go. go to the gym, you know what I'm saying? I do my push-ups.
Okay,
I'm a good
I
guy.
see your
I'm a
skills,
man of many
Jason.
talents.
Yep.
This
Okay, tell us where we can go see this movie. What platforms
So-
is it on?
And we love a good expletive.
So this movie, right? So this movie isn't out either.
Oh.
So this movie is still in post production. Yeah. So, this
Great
movie,
job, by the way.
I have.
Great
Oh,
job.
thank you
Yeah.
so much. I appreciate that. I'm playing that's me playing a pawn shop employee. Long story short, this guy's trying to sell me some stuff, and he's trying to get X amount of dollars, but I ain't trying to give him that much money. So it was like it was a fun back and forth thing. That was kind of last second. I was, in the acting world, this is how it is. Things are come up last second. So I was
Right.
shooting something else. My manager called me. He's like, "Yo, Jay, I got something else for you. Can you stay in LA?" Because this is before I moved. So he was like, "Yo, can you stay in LA for the next couple of days to shoot this?" I was like, "Sure." He sent me the script. I came, shot it, and I left. So very on the fly type of thing. I don't have any idea when it's coming out, but it is called Your Turn. It will be on Tubi. Hopefully within the next couple of months. That's all the information I do have. But it is a high action film. It's actually really, really cool. So I'm actually glad that I was able to be a part of it.
Well, when it comes out, you please let us know so that we can tell our audience, we can promote it on our social page. We have Range on all of the social media platforms. But can you please tell our audience where to find you?
My Instagram is at Real Jason Dailey. Real Jason Dailey pretty much on TikTok, Jason Dailey on YouTube,
Okay.
Twitter, everything is just Jason Dailey.
That's exciting.
That's the way to find me.
We cannot wait to see what you are bringing to the world. I'm happy to promote you. We are happy to promote you.
Yeah.
And then when you have some other stuff come back, let's bring you back and celebrate all the things that you're doing.
And in terms of your passions,
Yeah.
you movie execs out there, if you have a role where Jason is not just acting, but using his real passion, singing, holla at your boy. You know where to find him. Real Jason Dailey.
All right.
Thank you so
And
much,
that's
guys.
all we have for We Have Range. Jason, thank you for joining us. This has been amazing conversation. I am excited for your courage, talking about your mental health, talking about doing it scared. That's what we call it when you don't know and you're just figuring it out as you go. Doing it scared, that takes a lot of courage. And courage is nothing but fear in action. Thank you. Please like, follow, and subscribe to We Have Range on all of the social platforms.
You don't gotta be famous to be seen. Some of the strongest voices come from in between, from the shadows of the world, chasing impossible dreams.